Aha! What's up, everybody? Welcome back. This is the video that probably everybody's waiting for. I'm not entirely sure, but maybe. Volume 2 of the Sx-500 build. Let's go. You're weird.
You're weird.
It's finished. Kinda. This stuff's not really plugged in yet, but as you can see, she is complete.
And slow.
And pretty slow compared to Averna's. So I had to get an upgrade motor already. And while I'm putting that in, I figured it'd be a good time to take everything apart and show you guys how everything was put together. Okay, where to begin? Let's see. If you're new here, this is basically the Amazon Vevor or Vevor, however you pronounce it, 3,000 watt, 4,900 RPM motor. Nothing wrong with it. I've actually been rocking it now with the bike complete for probably a couple weeks and been riding it as much as I can. But my buddy Mike, he literally has this, which I bought this from HotPaxx, right? Because that's where his motor came from, and I was like, if they have the literally same motor and it's way cheaper, I'm gonna buy that. So, and I've seen his perform, which is really what this led to. His bike was way faster, and I was like, there's no way I can have him being way faster than me, so I gotta, you know, at least stay equal with him. I was gonna one-up him with the EC4P, but I'm gonna let that thing hit V3 or something, you know what I mean? There's a little bit too much craziness going on with that motor, and I think that after watching this one perform, I think this one will do fine with this heatsink and fan setup. I might even add another fan to the bottom and also to the side here. But anyway, let's basically break down what I got going on with the whole bike, and I'm gonna take this cover off too so you can kind of see what's going on underneath there with the battery. Let's start with that. Okay, start with underneath the cover here. Got a 72 volt a Moray or a Morge, however you pronounce it, 24 amp, you can see it here, 24 amp, oh, no folky, okay. $120 amps. So, it's a Kelly controller with, it's the, like, KVD 7212 N, I believe. This is just a voltage converter, 72 to 12 volt off Amazon to run all my 12 volt accessories, which aren't even hooked up yet. We're gonna do that later in this video. But you can kind of see how I did the battery. I used the stock kind of welded nut that's there, and I made those hooks that I previously talked about in the last video, bent them over, kind of got this strap, one of them straps that you just pull it until it gets as tight as it'll go type of strap. I actually got a couple more pulls out of it. So it doesn't really move anywhere from how I've been riding it. I haven't heard it move or anything. It doesn't look like it moved at all. I put a little pad from the box that it actually came in on it. And that's pretty much it underneath the engine cover. Replacing this with this, my 1020 Plus motor, which is rated for a little bit higher, has bigger wires in it. I'm not sure if this controller is going to plug right up with the Kelly. It kind of looks like it will. Hopefully it will, and I can just plug these right into my controller and be done. But going over my back here, I decided to go with pit bike rear brake because it just seemed like a better option, and a bigger wheel kind of called for it. These are 12-inch upgraded wheels. The brake that I actually selected, I found through just random people, you know what I mean, either on YouTube or Facebook, and I think it was a 51 millimeter spacing. I'll have to double check. I'll probably provide a link for everything in the description of this. Hopefully I'm not a lazy ass and I do that for y'all. This is a D&M burner, RCP 25 or 2S, I guess. Downhill mountain bike shock that I also got, I think on Amazon or eBay, one of them two. We got a tail light here too, another Amazon purchase. I think it kind of looks cool with the stock plastic leaving this part. I think Mike's gonna cut his off so it's just the actual tail light under there, which is still kind of cool too. On the other side of this rear wheel, we have a Rebel gear. It's a 25H chain, so it's a 72 tooth rear sprocket and a, right now, 11 stock sprocket in the front there. I do have a 12 on the way, so we gonna see. It does have a half link and a master link on it, and you can see how much chain gappage we have. It's pretty close. It doesn't ever really hit at this current spot, so I'm hoping when I go up a tooth I can get rid of a half link and it'll be even better. Side note, I do plan on upgrading this actual motor as far as drilling the holes and countersinking my screws and whatnot, which they look like they're already countersunk on this one, so all I have to do is drill the holes on it. Sweet. Starting at the front from top to bottom, we'll kind of go this way, I guess. Throttle, it's $15 Amazon throttle. These levers, both hydraulic levers, I think were just like pit bike standard levers. I think I paid like $20, $25 for the left and right pair, so they were matching. The bars were like 15 bucks, I think, 20 bucks on Amazon as well. Got this speed switch too. I randomly ordered on Amazon one day because I wanted to have speeds, and it actually worked out because it works great. I'd rather have the speed so I can go from like eco to regular mode to ludicrous mode, you know it. So this headlight is another Amazon purchase too. 12 volt headlight, I believe. It's literally bolts right to the hole that's already on the forks, which the fork kit came from Electric Cycle Garage. Kind of shorted me on some hardware and the original brake adapter. I'm still kind of salty about it, but it is what it is. I don't care. I got my own hardware for this just to kind of mock it up and see how it works, and it's actually pretty sweet. It's missing another bolt over here on the left side that I don't have yet, and I don't even think I tightened these yet, but I just put it on there just for shits and giggles. Moving down, stock fender for now, but I got a different one coming that looks a little bit more aggressive than this one. This is literally one of the biggest rotors that I could find, because apparently this caliper that I found is one of the biggest calipers that bolts with the exact same bolt pattern as these forks. So I don't even need an adapter or anything. This is literally bolted right to the fork like it would be. And this rotor is actually a 230 millimeter rotor. It came gold, and I kind of just like wire wheeled off the gold in most spots. So it's also a 12-inch wheel with an 8100 tire on it, just like the rear. I don't think I ever said what size the tire was. Let's see here. I'm sure I'm missing something. What am I missing? The fan was another Amazon purchase too. It's just like a 80 millimeter computer fan, probably from Amazon. It was like 11 bucks, 12 bucks, something like that. All right. I know what I didn't talk about yet. The frame. So I added this 2-inch block here to the stock foot pegs, and it's actually made out of the same tube that the frame is. It was just a little bit leftover that I had from extending the swing arm. Swing arm's been extended 4 inches. These bars back here are actually the original handlebars that I actually cut up and just rewelded. I saw somebody else did it, so I can't take credit for it, but it worked out really well. I can't really complain on that. This swing arm got powder coated black. I actually just painted this with some custom color green spray paint from the parts store. Everything else pretty much came the color that it is, so I didn't have to paint it, which is great. I love that. Not the best painter. So yeah, now I'm just at a point where I just want to fine tune it and tweak it. I'm going to put this motor in. I'm obviously going to have to retune it. I kind of want to pull some settings from Mike's bike so I don't blow this thing up or do something stupid, because I don't really know what I'm doing. Just realized I was like talking a mile a minute. Anywho, it's beautiful, man. Super excited, obviously. You know, put a lot of time into it, but it came out great. And it's a ripper already, so I can't imagine what it's going to be like with this motor on there. And I can't wait to like meet up with like more people. I've been finding more and more people who ride e-bikes and, you know, similar Talarias and Surons and whatever. So, you know, the more people we can get on this, I think is cool, because we can literally mob these things anywhere and nobody can do anything or say anything. So, yep. Awesome. Let me, I guess, start figuring out how I'm going to wire some of this stuff up, and I'll explain some of that. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail about how I wired the Kelly controller. It's all pretty straightforward. especially if you follow my man Voltron Watts over there. He's got some pretty good videos, I do say, on explaining how he wired up his exact same throttle that I have up there to this, and good like diagram pin out there that I use is from him. And then I kind of modified it my own way with the 3-speed switch, and it's not that hard. It's just follow the wiring diagram. The 12-volt system is going to be a little different, but not really crazy. What my plan with that is to, this switch over here is already powering just the fan alone, but it's not connected to key power. So there is potential for me to leave the actual fan on if I don't remember. So on this same 12-volt power, I'm going to put the headlight and tail light and brake lights. But those are actually going to be on their own circuit with this switch. So at any time I could just keep the fans running, because I might have more than one of these fans at some point. But I can turn off my headlights and tail lights and keep riding. So during the day and stuff, I'm not wasting battery on a headlight or whatever. I mean, I could turn it off. That's the goal, but I still got to wire it. Upcoming plans, other than adding the front fender that's coming already, that's more aggressive and it's black. I think it'll just match better because I got 2 different color kind of greens going, or 3 different color with the green from here. So what I'm going to do too is actually buy probably another set of wheels and switch over to like the street tires, some Kendas probably. I've seen some cool ones. I think Mike already got his and they were pretty sweet. So yeah. Probably going to be a bitch to put those on, but that'll probably be in a whole other video, I'd imagine. I'm also going to put this motor in, so that's part of why I'm here. I'm going to disconnect this thing. Hold on. First step is to take these end plates off and get this off of there to do that, so that we can drill the holes bigger. 10mm wrench on the shaft to hold it. Reverse threaded nut. Impact with a number 12 on it. Nut come right off. Same thing here. I'm going to use a number 2 tip on these screws here, and I'm going to impact it lightly to try to break them loose, because they can be tough and you can strip these things real easily. I got to put the camera down now. Before it comes apart fully, I plan on putting a little mark on it just with a Sharpie, so I know which way the cover goes with the That's it. 3 of them. Now your end caps will probably be glued on or silicone on. Oh, nope, this one come off easy. Yeah, nice and easy. Oh, there's only one way to do this. Alright, so then you gotta take all these pins out of here. It's the only way. You can see, bearing stayed behind over here. You can either pull it off to get the inside of your rotor out, but I don't think I'm going to mess with the rotor. I'm going to leave all that. This nice wire winding looks good. Get this front cover off somehow, which the front cover may have never come off. Oh no, it's easy. It popped right off too. Something I didn't see before, probably because my bearing came off in here, was they got one of them crush washers or wave washer between the bearing and the housing. They want the bearing to have some pressure on it, I guess. Alright, well, let's bust out the drill bit and start drilling us some holes. Looks like some of them didn't even like get machined. You can see they have all the whole pattern on the inside, but they don't have the same pattern here. They've cut a lot of those holes not all the way through. I don't know why. And I did what I said I wasn't going to do, and I took it apart without looking at which way it goes. Oops. Got the easy side drilled. Look at that. Doesn't that just look much better for Florida weather? Oh, I missed 2 holes. One right there and one right there. Whoops. Okay, so for whatever reason, I don't know if it's just that there's too many volts or whatever, maybe I had to do a little bit more research, but my 12 volt, my 72 to 12 volt converter is kind of not working. I had everything hooked up last night and I tried to turn it on and the headlight wouldn't come on now all of a sudden, and I was just like, what's going on? So I don't know, basically I figured out that if I have the fan and the headlight and the taillight all plugged in to the converter, the voltage drops down. It can only output like 6 or 7 volts, and that's not enough to actually run the light. So the light won't come on with the fan running. So I don't know if I need to go like 24 volt or what, but I basically just, for now, eliminated the fan, since now this new motor has an internal temperature sensor. I'm going to play with that, you know what I mean? And if it gives me an alert for being too hot, then obviously I'll stop riding it, you know what I mean, and let it cool down for a second. But I think what I'm going to do now, and I never really liked the computer fan idea on the back of this thing because it just doesn't output enough air to really feel like it's doing anything. I do like the idea of having a fan on the side here and being able to blow some air through it, especially now that this one's drilled with these bigger holes. So I think that's going to be more the route that I go, and then maybe switch to like a 24 volt converter. I really don't know. I'm going to have to do some more research because I don't know what the heck's going on. I feel like other people run a 12 volt converter just like this all the time and run a bunch of things, you know, neon lights on the outside, 2 fans on the motor, and they don't have any issues. So I don't know. Maybe the converter that I got is bad, or maybe I did something to it, wiring it. I have no idea at this point, but I do have it hooked up. If you hit the on switch here, you can see I got my headlight going, you know. It's not very bright either, which kind of leads me to believe that something's going on there as well. And pretty much every time I wired it, you can see the taillight there. Pretty much every time I wired it, like I was checking the volts at every stage to kind of see what would happen. And pretty much as soon as I just add the fan into the circulation, it didn't matter how I had it hooked up, you know what I mean? It just, the voltage would drop down to 6 voltage. 6 volts, so no bueno. But for now, I can ride at night. I just don't have a fan on it. And like I said, I have a temperature sensor now in this thing, and I actually just retuned it like 3 seconds ago. And that was kind of a pain to figure out how to do it. For the record, if you're watching this and you want to figure out how to retune a new motor to your Kelly controller, there's one little button that says click auto discern or whatever, and you basically have to write that to the controller, and then you down power it. And then when you turn it back on, make sure that you don't have the wheel on the ground, or at least if you do, like, be ready, because it's going to try to spin the tire and move it to try to figure out where the hall sensors are at. And then once it does that, if it works correctly, it should take it off. So if you read again in the ECU, you shouldn't see that box checked anymore for auto discern. Mine actually took like 2 or 3 times before it went through. So I don't know, but I haven't even given it a test drive yet. We're about to do that right now, but I'm pretty much at a point where I think it's pretty solid. I mean, we're going to see how the temp sensor works as far as how hot it gets, and I don't know. I just left the default temperatures that were in there. I may have to modify that some. Not sure. It seemed like it was pretty good. I think it was like from like 110 cold to like 120 or something hot. So we shall see. All right, let's take this thing for a rip. All right, here we go. Gonna try to drive one-handed here, but it's pretty easy, so it shouldn't be too bad. Watch me crash. Nah. So I've already ridden it around. This motor is definitely much faster. It's pretty fun. Pull around one more time, and then I'll probably set the camera down and do a couple flybys. Try to sit it down in my truck or something. That's gonna do it for this video. I'm probably gonna make the next Razor video on tuning. Like I'll pull up the actual computer and go through my settings and shit and kind of show people some things in case you guys were wondering. But yeah, stay tuned. S13 content coming soon too. Sold the S14, so yeah, big things coming. For now, peace y'all.